Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the ARCA MENARDS Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen. This is Racing News Now. And tonight, we are going to talk about what quite possibly could have been, no, not quite possibly, was the best ARCA race of the 2021 season thus far. We still got two races left, with the Kansas finale for the main ARCA and the West finale at Phoenix. But so far, this is the best ARCA race we have seen this season, start to finish. So much happening in this race. We had championship implications. We had beating and banging. We had the best short track racing I think I've seen all season. And we've had some great races in the West Side this season. This takes the cake. This race was fantastic. I don't know what more you could have asked for in this race. This was fantastic. And as we'll see when we get to the points a little later in the video, this race changed the points dramatically. When I say dramatically, I mean Jesse Love came into this race with a 7-point lead over Jake Drew. Everyone else was at least 14 to 15 points out of the points lead. We have one of the best championship battles I have ever seen heading into Phoenix now. These points will astound you. Stick around to the end of the Rewind Show. I'm still flabbergasted after running the numbers and figuring out where we actually stand right now, points-wise, headed into Phoenix. This is incredible. Without further ado, let's take a look at the stats of tonight's NAPA Auto Care 150 from the All-American Speedway in Roseville, California. 11 caution flags on the night. There was a lot of carnage tonight. A lot of carnage. Lots of stuff to get through in this race, so we're going to run through it very quickly. First caution, lap 26. John Wood and Christian Rose getting together in turn number 4. Lap number 40, 77 of Caleb Costner spun in turn 4. Lap 47 changed the complexion of this race a little bit. The 17 of Taylor Gray got loose on the outside in turns 1 and 2. He was on the outside of Jesse Love. I don't think there was any contact there made between the 16 and the 17. If there was, it was very minor and very unnoticeable. I really don't think there was any contact made there. I think Taylor just got loose. The 33 of PJ Pedroncelli, who was behind Taylor at the time, gets into the back of Taylor as Taylor gets loose and basically finishes him off. Turns him the rest of the way around. Taylor gets run into by Josh Finopoulos and Brian Comiskey, destroying that 17 car. That was the end of the night for Taylor Gray and his bid for 3 West races in a row. Wasn't even the 1/3 mark of the race, and Taylor Gray was out of this one. Lap 56, Takuma Koga spun in turn 1. Lap 66, another incident involving PJ Pedroncelli, as he gets into the back of the 78 car of Travis Milburn, headed into turn 1 and turns Milburn around. Then we had a bit of a green flag stretch, probably the longest green flag run we had on the night, until lap 97, the 51 of Dean Thompson, who started on the pole, winning the pole, I might add, in the combined practice qualifying session by 1/1000th of a second over Jesse Love. Dean Thompson, unfortunately, though, spins in turn 2 with a flat left rear tire, and that would be the end of his bid for any kind of a good finish on the night. He had been free-falling at that point, though. I'm not really sure he was going to be in contention for the win at the end of this race, unfortunately, but still making the night a little bit worse. Lap 109, JoJo Wilkinson and Bridget Burgess get together in turn number 2. Lap 121, Brian Comiskey spins in turn 2. This one was a little perilous as he spins and is stopped in the middle of the track in turn 2. The leaders come up on him, have to spread out everywhere. Luckily, nobody hit him, but very perilous moment there with Brian Comiskey stopped in turn 2. Lap 130, the 78 of Travis Milburn stopped in the outside groove of turn number 4. Then things started to get really dicey as we got down within the final 20 laps of this race. Lap 137, the 99 of Cole Moore gets into the back of the 9 of Jake Drew. This was the battle for the lead. Going down into turn 1, there was a little bit of contact from Joey East in third as well. It didn't seem like very hard contact, though I'm not really sure Joey East had much to do with this, as much as it was Cole Moore really charging down into the corner. It almost felt like Moore was trying to give a little payback to Jake Drew, who had really squeezed Cole Moore off of turn 4 almost into the wall to take the lead. It almost felt like this might have been a little payback. I don't know if it was or not. I'm not in Cole Moore's head in this moment, so I don't know if that's what was happening here. But that's what it kind of looked like. And unfortunately for both of them, Drew gets turned around and Cole Moore has nowhere to go, and they both get washed up the track into turn 1. Jesse Love also has nowhere to go. He has to stop to let them sort themselves out. So all 3 of those cars end up going to the back after this and have to fight their way back to the front near the end of the race. Final caution, lap 150. The leader had taken the white flag when Jesse Love gets turned by Jake Drew off of turn 4 to set up a 1-lap shootout in overtime. And as I already mentioned, we had a last lap pass for the win in this race. So that 1-lap shootout was exciting. So let's look at your lap leaders on the night. Cole Moore led the most laps on the night. 80 laps spent out front by the driver of the 99 car. 53 laps were led by Jake Drew. 20 were spent out front by Joey East. 4 laps led by Jesse Love. And 1 lap was led by PJ Pedroncelli. Now, the question is, we know Jesse Love didn't win this race. In fact, his 4 laps spent out front were the initial 4 laps. He took the lead from Dean Thompson on the initial start, led the first 4 laps. And then, of course, he got spun to cause the overtime caution. So we know Jesse Love didn't win this race. Jake Drew was also involved in that. So we can eliminate him. That leaves Cole Moore, Joey East, PJ Pedroncelli. Cole Moore had been involved in that previous caution, had not made his way back to the front. The race for the win in this race came down to Joey East and PJ Pedroncelli. Now the question is, did that 1 lap spent out front by Joey East come on the final lap in that 1-lap shootout? Did PJ Pedroncelli pick up his first career ARCA Menards Series West victory? Or did Joey East pick up his second ARCA West victory on the season after winning a few weeks ago at Colorado? The answer to that is PJ Pedroncelli wins his first career ARCA Menards Series West victory in exciting fashion, takes the lead from Joey East in that final 1-lap shootout to pick up that first win. Crazy night all around after being involved in 2 cautions. Fights his way back to the lead, wins this race, and pulls himself back into championship contention. PJ Pedroncelli came into this race 15 points off of the lead, but with Jesse Love's unluckiness tonight in Roseville, that closes things up a bit. The question is, how much did it close things up? And again, we will get to that momentarily. But first, let's take a look at your results. PJ Pedroncelli, of course, at the top of the list with his first career ARCA Menards Series West victory. Joey East came home in the 2nd position. Trevor Huddleston, solid night for him. Wasn't really a 3rd place car, but ended up in 3rd after everything else happened in front of him and the seas kind of parted and he ended up in 3rd. I'm not even really sure he was probably a top 5 car on the night. He was just kind of there, which has kind of been the story of his 2021 and really his 2020 season as well. He's just kind of there. We've seen Jake Drew make leaps and bounds improvement over the season to where he's contending for wins week in and week out. And I don't know, with as stacked as it looks like the field is going to be at Phoenix, if Jake Drew is going to get that first career win at Phoenix in a couple of weeks. But Jake Drew has proven that he can be in contention for race wins and has the speed to win races if luck goes his way. Trevor Huddleston really hasn't had that kind of speed this year. Jake Drew is kind of showing right now what those Sunrise cars can do, and is really kind of showing up Trevor Huddleston. I don't know what the deal is with Trevor Huddleston, because if you look back to 2019, Trevor had a really good season in 2019, and then he just kind of fell off a cliff last year, and it's kind of been the same this year. I'd say he might have been a little bit better this year than he was last year, but it's not been much. I've really been disappointed with what I've seen out of Trevor Huddleston this year and last year. Hopefully things turn around for him sooner rather than later, but the rate things are going, it doesn't look like they're going to. 3rd place is still a solid finish, but really better than he ran all night. Todd Souza came home in 4th for another Roseville top 5 finish. Remember, he finished 2nd last year. With all the craziness that happened in this race last year, Roseville seems to put on a really crazy show year in, year out. No different this year. Todd Souza still comes home with a top 5 finish. Again, I'm not really sure he was fast enough all night to be in the top 5, but capitalizes on the misfortunes of everyone else and comes home with a top 5 finish. Cole Moore fought his way back also for a top 5 finish to round out the top 5 in 5th. Rest of your top 10, Stafford Smith, Christian Rose, Jake Drew battled back to 8th. Takuma Koga and Amber Slagle rounds out the top 10. 11th through 20th, Bridget Burgess fought her way back to 11th as the last car on the lead lap. Jesse Love was 1 lap down in the 12th position after his spin to cause overtime off the front bumper of Jake Drew. JoJo Wilkinson rounded out the top 15 there in the 15th position. Dean Thompson, after his flat tire, had to go pit, put a new left rear tire on, and unfortunately couldn't fight his way back from 4 laps down there in the 17th position. Again, bad luck strikes for Dean Thompson. If he can put a full race together, we've seen the speed out of Dean Thompson. We saw it at Irwindale the first time they visited this year. Dean Thompson has the speed. He just needs the luck to go with it. And most races this year, he has not had that luck. Final page 21st through 23rd, Josh Finopoulos, Taylor Gray, as we mentioned, taken out very early before even lap 50, and Paul Pedroncelli completing 2 laps in this race. That's your results from the NAPA Auto Care 150. Congratulations to PJ Pedroncelli on his first career ARCA West victory. Going to work on getting a PJ Pedroncelli interview this week. Not sure how easy that will be, but I'm going to really work hard to try to get PJ Pedroncelli on for you this week, because I know a lot of you probably want to hear from him and hear his thoughts on this race and the tight championship battle heading into Phoenix. Let's look at those points right now. I have teased them enough in this video. What do the points look like headed into Phoenix? Well, Jesse Love is still your points leader, but not by much. 1 single solitary point is the lead that Jesse Love holds over PJ Pedroncelli headed into Phoenix. 1 point. And it's not even just 1 point from Jesse Love to PJ Pedroncelli. It is 3 points back to Jake Drew in 3rd, 5 points back to Joey East in 4th, and 6 points back to Cole Moore in 5th. We have 5 drivers with a legitimate shot at this championship at Phoenix. 6 points. And with as big of an entry list as it sounds like we're going to have at Phoenix, 6 points shouldn't be that hard to make up at Phoenix under the right circumstances. Even Trevor Huddleston in 6th, 15 points back, while it will be a little tougher, is not out of the realm of possibility for Trevor Huddleston with a good day at Phoenix to still bounce back and win this championship. It would take bad luck for a lot of these guys in front of him for him to do it, but again, not out of the realm of possibility. Even Todd Souza back in 7th, 26 points, is a big gap, but not impossible. Still not mathematically out of it. Now, everybody outside the top 7, yeah, mathematically out of this no matter how big of a field we have at Phoenix. That top 5, though, we are in for an incredible championship battle. Any of those 5 could win the championship leaving Phoenix. Who knows what's going to happen at Phoenix? Who knows where these guys will finish at Phoenix? Again, 1 point separates Jesse Love and PJ Pedroncelli. All that takes is for a bad pit stop out of Jesse Love at some point on the day, get him mired back in the field, can't make his way back up from that. All of a sudden, PJ Pedroncelli is there to strike. Jake Drew only has 3 points to make up. Joey East, 5 points. Cole Moore, 6 points. Not hard to make up at all under the right circumstances. This championship battle at Phoenix is going to be wild, and I'm here for it. This is the championship battle we got robbed of in the main ARCA series this year that we should have had between Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim. We're getting that tenfold right now in the ARCA Menards Series West, and I'm here for it. I am so excited for Phoenix. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Can Jesse Love hold on and go back-to-back in ARCA West? Does PJ Pedroncelli come in out of nowhere and win this championship? Who would have picked PJ Pedroncelli at the beginning of this season to win this championship? I know I wouldn't have. But all of a sudden, PJ Pedroncelli is here in this championship battle and has a very legitimate shot at this championship. Jake Drew, the rookie, comes in out of nowhere in a Sunrise Ford. Very likely could win this championship. Joey East has had an extremely solid season. Picked up his first win. He's right here in this as well. And then Cole Moore, the rookie as well for BMR. He was an unknown coming into this season, as was Jake Drew, as was PJ Pedroncelli. And they all performed incredibly this season and have put themselves all in a position right now that they could win this championship at Phoenix. I'm so excited for this. This is what the ARCA Menards series is supposed to be. This is fantastic. I love it. But I think that's all we got for you today on this ARCA Menards series Rewind show. We got Kansas coming up here in a couple of weeks. We actually have an off week for ARCA. The first one we've had off between all three ARCA series in months at this point. We actually have an off weekend next weekend. Not sure what we're going to do. Maybe some sort of a rewind show for the top 3 series. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Got to do something. Otherwise, the YouTube algorithm is going to hate me and shadow ban this channel or something. I don't know. But we got to do something. So we'll have some sort of a video next weekend, ARCA related, top 3 series related, something. So keep an eye out for that. And then Kansas in a couple of weeks. We will be there. I promise you that. We will be at Kansas for the season finale for the main ARCA Menards series. Giving you live coverage from that one. It's going to be fantastic, y'all. We're still in that hashtag race to 1K. If you haven't already, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button so we can hit that 1,000 subscriber mark and have mobile live streams for you from Kansas. iRacing Tuesday should be coming back on Tuesday this week. Didn't have one this past week. Should be coming back this week. Don't know if we'll have a driver or not, but still should be a fun time. As always, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Who knows? We'll jump in a Carb Cup or a Pickup Cup race if we don't have a driver. It'll be something fun. I guarantee you that. So come on out and hang out for that one. And I think that'll do it. So, as always, we want to thank our Patreon supporter, Regional Manager William Holmes. Thank you, as always, for your support. It is greatly appreciated. If you would like to be a patron of RNN, the link is down below in the description. Patreon.com/RacingNewsNow. Not required by any means, but definitely appreciated when you want to support RNN in that way. But I think that's going to do it. So with that, this has been the ARCA Menards Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.